Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AR Movie Memos. I am the mad critic himself, AR, and we are going to be doing a spoiler review of Captain America: Brave New World. We did a spoiler-free review last time for this, but since it's been about 48 hours since the film has came out, and after seeing people talk about the film in person and seeing comments online, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my spoiler review now. So if you want to listen to my spoiler free review, it is on the channel AR Movie Memos. And like I said, and if you have not seen the movie yet, I would say, go see it, see if you may like it, judge it for yourself and see what your opinion is instead of, reading, the comments and stuff online, going to the critic sites and things of that nature, get your own opinion of it. But overall, I thought the movie was okay. Haven't been a fan of the last few movies or television shows that the MCU has done. So I gave it a passable grade in comparison compared to everything else that has came out. This movie is not perfect at all. It has good things in it, it has bad things, but especially just kind of reading and knowing more about a lot of the turmoil that went through just with the film even being made, with it going through the principal photography, it being reshot so many times, and just a lot of the issues that they had on set. So seeing what the end product was of this film, I was like, okay, well, it's not too bad, but it does have problems in it. Like I said, compared to what it probably could have been, and I guess they cut everything together, and this was the Frankenstein film that we got. It didn't come out too bad for me. It didn't come out too bad. But we just go dive straight in. I'm gonna tell you what I like, what I didn't like. The pros is I did like Anthony Mackie in the film. I liked his character and his progression as his version of Captain America. He's not trying to be Steve Rogers. He is Sam Wilson trying to find his footing as the character, especially since he doesn't have the super soldier serum. But he's still a good-hearted character, and I like how they show his identity, how he is as the character, and how he approaches everything, and how he still wants to carry the mantle of Captain America. And another thing I liked in the film was the character of Isaiah Bradley, who was played by Carl Lumbly. He was introduced in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was one of the first. He was one of the first soldiers that was experimented on after Steve Rogers with the super soldier serum. He was done wrong by the government and by the military in the show. I say, if you seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, you know his backstory. If you haven't, go back and watch it. But he was, again, one of the standouts for me in the show. I just like the actor, just in general. I like what he brings to the character, and it was just nice seeing him back. And another thing I like with the action sequences, I like the choreography for the most part. Even with seeing how Anthony Mackie is now as Cap, and seeing how he does have his combat, he knows how to fight, but just also seeing how he utilizes the gadgets with his suit, and just a lot of the things that he do with the shield, and just things of that nature. And and another new character that they introduced is Joaquin Joaquin Torres, who is played by Danny Ramirez. He is the new Falcon. And he was introduced in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show as well. Didn't realize that he was going to be playing the role as Falcon in this movie, and I guess moving forward within the MCU. He was a little annoying at first. He felt more like a sidekick compared to like a partner, compared to like how they introduced Anthony Mackie in Winter Soldier with Chris Evans at the time when he was playing the role as Cap, and seeing their dynamic versus seeing the dynamic between Sam and Joaquin in the film, and they're completely different characters, different relationships, and it just had to grow on me just seeing how they were. But their relationship was cool, especially they did have kind of like a cliche action scene where he got hurt, and it was like a life lesson thing of them trying to just learning from your mistakes, and just overall like his character was okay for the most part. And like I said, compared to the other MCU films that has been in phase 4 and 5, and even with the TV shows, I thought this was okay, especially compared to the show Falcon and Winter Soldier. And oh yeah, and on another thing, if you have not watched that show, or even if you didn't see the end of Endgame and understand how Sam has became Captain America, you should probably go back and watch that, because you may be confused. But okay, and now for the problems I had, the cons. The writers of this film, too many cooks in the kitchen, and you can tell just by the plot, not of just even of this film, but even just with the previous films and shows. They have a lot going on. They have about 4 different storylines that they're trying to cross cut with each other, on top of also trying to introduce new things for the future of the MCU, and they're trying to get you caught up with a lot of things. There was a scene in the White House where they did a huge info dump on, basically, if you haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, they basically just gave you a huge info dump just to kind of get you caught up to everything that was going on. But yeah, just the main plot of this film was Sam basically trying to prevent Japan going to war with the U.S. The U.S. trying to find a peace treaty with all the other countries that are trying to fight for the right to basically get all the resources from the celestial that's hanging out of the earth, which you haven't seen since the Eternal films. You also have Isaiah Bradley, who is framed of trying to basically assassinate the president, which is played by Harrison Ford now. And Sam is trying to prove his innocence, and he's trying to see who the mastermind behind this whole situation is. And then even just kind of on a small thing, they introduce adamantium, and if you don't know too much about that, that is related to the X-Men with Wolverine, and it kind of messes with the lore with a lot of things, which goes back to the writing. So it's like they're trying to do what they want to do and set things up for later on, instead of just kind of focusing on the main things going on within the film. And then if you haven't probably seen like the Incredible Hulk in a while, the one with Edward Norton, there's a character that comes back, which is the leader, in which is his character in the comics. He was basically held captured by Harrison Ford as a General Ross, and he was doing things for the military, and he was helping him find a cure for, because he had a problem with his heart. And so, he fulfilled all of his promises and everything that he did, but Harrison Ford did not release him and let him go, and so that's why he has this gripe and this grudge against uh, General Ross, or now President Ross, and he wants to expose who he is, to the whole world. And so it was cool finally them doing something with that character and bringing him back, but they kind of made him a little OP in this film, and in a lot of situations that he was in. Basically, he could just do whatever he wanted to do, throughout the film. Um, and like I said, it was cool seeing that actor back and seeing what they did with the character, but it was just a little lackluster and just a little underwhelming. And another thing kind of related to him was the CGI. And I kind of wish maybe they did more of a practical effect with how he looked instead of the CG looked, because some of the CGI in the film, some of it looked good, some of it looked like it needed to be rendered a few times, which kind of goes back to the issues with the reshoots and a lot of the, I guess, on and off the set things that happen. Um, Especially towards the third act, when you finally see President Ross turn into Red Hulk, and it's cool, but some of the background stuff you can just tell like they were on like a sound stage and not on a location, especially after the end when you know Harrison Ford transforms back into his human state, and it just looks fake. It doesn't look like they're even in a real environment, and it's just kind of it's just a little distracting, if you just kind of notice that. And speaking also with villains, the character Sidewinder was introduced to the MCU, played by Esposito. He was in The Boys. He's in Breaking Bad. He was in a lot of older Spike Lee films from back in the day, and it was cool seeing him in the MCU. I thought his character was interesting. Wasn't utilized enough, but I guess they're gonna probably use him down in future films. He kind of reminded me, I guess, how they used him with Baron Zemo in Captain America Civil War, but then he was more utilized when it came to Falcon and Winter Soldier. And yeah, but just overall, like I said, those are my cons. Those are my issues with the film. And like I said, I've been reading the comments online, and I understand, like, the issues that people may have. But it's just more of a film and a writing issue. I don't really look more into like a lot of the political things, or kind of a lot of the things that's going on within the climate of the nation, or even just I know it's probably some people who may probably have an issue with Anthony Mackie just playing Captain America now. And like I said, I'm not gonna get into the race thing and all that other type of stuff, but like I said, I like him as Cap. At first I wasn't too thrilled on the decision, even kind of when it happened, but just kind of seeing him in the role now, it's like, hey, hey, like, let's give him a chance. Let's just see what happens, and if they want to course correct over time, they can do that. They go do whatever they want. They make a lot of creative decisions that do make sense, they do work out, or they just like, hey man, like y'all just messing up with everything, you know. You know, just like for example, how I brought up the thing with the adamantium and how they introduced that to the MCU. And I think it's a bad idea how they are doing it, but hey, that's the direction they want to go in. You know, another prime example, even just going back to the writing, and I don't feel like the writing team in general. I don't know if they do not go back and rewatch the previous shows or films, or if they talk to the other writers that worked on other things and just kind of see like the big broad scheme of everything, because a lot of things don't make sense from the standpoint of like if you saw Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you have like the storyline with the Flag Smashers and the Super Soldier Serum, and you know, things of that nature, and you like, oh, okay, well maybe that stuff may spill over into this movie, and it doesn't. It doesn't get addressed, or even like one of the big things with Disney Plus's Secret Invasion. You know, one of the big, you know, one of the big twists at the end of that is, you know, there's over like a million scrolls, you know, around the world, and then the president, you know, passed that act of basically of them being hunted, and it doesn't get brought up at all, especially because the president in that show is not who is in this film, and now it's Harrison Ford. So it's just like, oh well, you know, I thought maybe that could be a, you know, like an implication or something that's going to happen. You know, it doesn't get brought up at all. Just so you know, like I said, it, you know, it is what it is. They're going to do what they want to do. But yeah, but just overall, like I said, this is my spoiler review of the film. If there's anything I missed or anything that you disagree with or you agree with, leave it in the comments. You know, like I said, I mean, it's just, you know, this is here just to have a discussion, to get your thoughts out, or just, you know, just to have a dialect about, you know, what we did like, what we did not like, and, you know, so I just want to, like I said, just, you know, thank you guys. And again, I just want to say thank you guys just for listening to my spoiler review of Captain America Brave New World. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are enjoying the content that I am bringing with these reviews. Like I said, I'm going to be having more in the future. If you got any requests, comments, or anything you guys want to suggest, please just go to at AMR, excuse me, just say please subscribe to the page AR Movie Memos. Again, AR Movie Memos. Subscribe to the page, hit the like button, and I will see you guys soon, and I will bring you guys more awesome content, and you guys have a good one, and stay blessed out there.